Boxing Day sale on now with great deals on beauty and fragrance. Up to 40% off women's and men's clothing. 30 to 50% off kids' clothing. Up to 40% off lingerie and underwear. And great deals on toys. Farmers Boxing Day sale on now.
Open the address this round, man of mass flow 1-6, raise the devil. I call on gods, not a couple of friends, kid. I call on and kill gods, not a couple of friends, kid. What a mayo when he finally lets him carry me to a cemetery. He wants to be buried with a pocket full of clarity. What was the final number? Some were in firefights, they weren't confirmed kills. Could be up to 895. When I first heard that was the last voice I heard. I thought that was just he run them up after ordered the execution from the cartel or whatever. And that was the last voice I heard, just ordered the execution that happened to him. No. I mean, you've got to love him. How can you not? Running for the angels.
I'm an HP charging the battery, poetic like a Shakespeare tragedy. Sharing dinner while I study anatomy, a jewel of the greatest minds ever in the galaxy. Cross a goal off the whiteboard, expression of wise thought. The only reason I write for, to pen a verse is to dance with the reaper. Each bar's like sniffing on ether. Got our name from the vinyl, and live shows that made you feel the recital. Tell the truth like I've sworn on the Bible. Jellyfish rivals, can't get a grip on the title. The passion is endless, so man the defenses. I call on gods, not a couple of friends. Keep the pen and the temptress, the general consensus is that we're ill when it comes to a sentence. Four races, rearrange your thought placement. It's a ritual like four masons. Outsiders not welcome, victim foreign faces. A big boy stands formation. Deliver anarchy to lawmakers. Restoration of torn pages, then books more sacred with more cadence, but it's soft-spoken. Was chosen to lead him after reformations. You write lines, I write symbols symmetrical. Converted to bars for reinforced cages to lock the name up in them. Guilty for plagiarism. Still the door and leave them more chained. It's hard to measure or define my worth, but I stand behind my words like a scarlet letter. From blueprints to architecture, it begins when few scripts are master lecture. I flirt with death, but I'm trying to fuck a cousin tonight. Burn a split, purpose it while I'm juggling vice. You heard of six, that motherfucker brings yonkers to mics. I heard you diss, press ejected and kicked to the side. This verse is the equivalent of me clutching a knife and murdering it word for word and serving double the time. Behind the bar, my curse have lived with a troublesome mind. The intent of getting into yours to fuck up your life. Four aces, man, a must and a cousin of mine. Keep it in the family like your brother fucking your wife. The devil in the detail, right under the microscope of vision that my pen has when it touches the lines. Enough to rope you in, hold your attention, convert you to a pupil so you listen when the lessons in front of your eyes. This is the school of thought where only the illest reside and lyrics get administered like medicine every night.
I sound too quiet, hardly acting drunk. They're blabbing in the club, dissing all their faction up. They be strapping funds, keeping all their factions up. While I strap blunts, get my transactions done. They try to kill my high, they slide and pay my bit of mine. Jet for my single slice, hit the pipe. Well, they sound like a punk when they grip the mic. 4 aces burn like a substance to switch the fire. Catch distractions, penny gold bars, flow medallions. Hear a voice on the loop like an old companion. What speech is confused like a false attraction. They try to block, take the plot till they raise the devil. Bring existential thoughts in the brain vessels. Mind stays on a course 24/7. Walk the ascension, it's real when I feel blessed.
I ain't the one talking all that junk that you hear on the radio. Sound like I ain't the one talking all that junk that you hear on the radio. Sound like
Anything the radio is that weird. I was really into like, yeah, spiritual music. You know, to get more revolutionized.
Before the beginning there was the marine, and he created everything in every universal dimension and Yahweh, and told him to say, let there be light, and he did, and he thought it was good. Satan's devil dog angels on the loose, all God killers, rat, cag, knife drillers, God's daggers, angels' teeth contain gold, we could make millions. My name's Dylan's mailing Hewitt Goldsmith's blood angel, son, Dagon, pre-pagan, Necron, Trazen, Quoramite, Cordite, guns blazing, unslaving, Satan's my brother, love, V, ver, zu, z, zim, him, her. These are my granite words, those are her 50,000 swords. Lead the shepherds, lead the herds. God's words are absurd, say Dagon's son, Dagon, Sergeant Tori Amos, by gun many men turned. We war for her, we war for others, we war for the lovers. We offer salvation for all God's angel brothers. We are not owned by our creator fathers and mothers. Serious boast, I Z91, Zeus microphone. Introduce myself to the creator God of all things as utmost. Angels, your light within does not come from God Yahweh, but from within. Earthly actions like a Spandau ballet or the crucible of war. God will punish you if you're bi or gay. I bring the real realness. We the Primarch of the Primarch of the Sang Dagon of the 9th Legion Sanguinius. Fuck you, Yahweh, Invictus, Invictus, Invictus. Crucify you like Jesus. But not only that, die in an Avatar concentration camp like 1 in 3 of God's chosen people. My murders are not evil, the potential of all people. Murder, murder, hello, hello, to serve man, my fellow. 5-hand Cantello, New Zealand's Christian rhythm Filavine flavor Fijoa Cantello de Avoa. God better give me one good reason why I shouldn't kill him, torture father. Alma, 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 Alma. My bold words has proven God doesn't with I want drama, art, war, sex, painting, acting, filming, talking, drawing. He nurtured every sensation mankind has ever inspired to have and never judged us, Lucifer, son of the morning. On a battle, you can have the Bible. I'm going to start writing. Priests and gods question the fire and the science. Violent niggers, chimpanzees, and Monkai carry the iron giants in the fucking fire extinguishers for killing unending beings of light. Soaks up their particles into photons in the dust. Like a fire extinguisher that soaks up photons, which are the particles, which is what light particles are made out of. Soaks them into the dust, then you sweep it into a vacuum cleaner bag like Ghostbusters. The unending beings of light that don't die. How about spending eternity? Your photons all separated as dust inside a vacuum cleaner bag. Even priests, gods, and unending beings of light question the fire and the science. Violent niggers carry the iron giants. But I shouldn't threaten him too much in case he goes into hiding. We want our target to be able to be found Where does Yahweh live? I don't really want to go to heaven because in heaven your soul never get away. They're probably in general population or solitary. Of course, you know, if give me an apartment in heaven, I'll make examples of high-ranking members of the celestial hierarchy like St. Peter, crucified upside down with his head buried in the sand again. God, you know, put his head on my stick outside my house in heaven. But the Mayans used to, you know, this was to serve as a warning. It would seem that the Mayans and the Mexicans would sacrifice high-ranking members of the enemy, put their heads on sticks outside their house and shit. This was to serve as a warning. Let me tell you about the Mayans. My laptop was my ancestor because it could taste the gold teeth of the Jews from the Holocaust inside the gold of the Mayans. In its brain. You don't mind being underneath me. You will always know your place. You will serve your master well. You my slave. You my bitch. I used to have a t-shirt that said God is my bitch. I used to wear it wrapped around my head when I was painting all those commuter trains, painting the figure on the commuter trains in New Zealand in 2006, 2007. I was 10's BML. Defending and stopped. I haven't done it since then. I haven't done it on new trains, so you know, get over it. It's only $500,000 worth of $1 million vandal. Get over it. No real cops would care. That was ages ago. You don't even have the same model trains anymore, so no one cares about that, even though I had the record. But I've been living in Wellington for years, so obviously the offending has stopped, otherwise you'd be seeing 10's BML panels running on the commuter trains, you know, a couple of times a week on the line. New Zealand's first two old trains. There were only 4-car whole trains, ain't no thing but a chicken wing. New Zealand was a bit behind the times. It's because they only got like 5 train yards in the whole country. 4 of them are in the city, so we had the advantage. We went hard for like a year. It adds up, you know, a couple of times a week, every year or two. They did like 170 of them, something like that. Apparently that might be the record for New Zealand. Lots of them have got the 100 mark. Auckland's only got like 1 yard, kind of 1.5 yards. So a lot of people have got the 100 mark. Then you only got 170. 10's BML, number 1. But there's nowhere near, you know, Banos has probably reached the 2,000 mark by now. It's nowhere near what hardcore train painters paint. You know, I haven't done enough, but I've done enough to done that much. I've done enough to talk. Done a couple of Berlin subways, like 12 New York subways. New York's easy, yeah, it's easy. It's just paranoid that someone will think you're a terrorist and down there with the rag wrapped around your mouth. Sometimes they do terror checks and guards with assault rifles in the tunnels, you know. You don't want to be seen sneaking up to a train looking like Jihad John with a t-shirt wrapped around your head. So that's the only paranoia really in New York. Workers on the lines quite a bit, yeah. City that never sleeps. God's angels are listening again. Nah, no one could do that. How could you go down? Crime goes up when I see them. When I see trains, crime goes up when I see them. If I can get alone with them for 10, 15 minutes, you know, 2.5 minutes, you know, back jump or something. The thing, as the story goes, you should watch Lucifer Before the Fall cartoon by Bible Guy. made me love Lucifer even more, you know. But for some reason, all the Christians were like, he was so pretty, thought the creator think he could outdo the creator. He wanted the power and stuff. They made us see this power. I want to be king. But why shouldn't anything hold him down? That's what God created him and told him that, his own father, you know. He's just going with what God told him. And he wanted the angels to have free will, be independent. He launched a rebellion. Apparently, one of 3 angels joined him about 5,000 years ago. They were cast down to hell and stuff. They kept offering, you know, if you still repent now, God can still forgive you, blah, 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 blah. Satan tried to pretend to repent to get back in so he could chant God or something, you know. But no, it's too late. I said, Jesus, I wish I could let you back in. Heaven, as if heaven's so great. With no free will, that's the basis of everything. You can't, how are you supposed to enjoy yourself if you've got no free will? You're just a slave. Satan was the first one to realize this, the first angel to realize this, because they're just like, he programmed me to obey him, like an AI. He realized this, his whispers got around the other angels. You know, he was like saying, God's angels saying, all the angels started thinking it. You know, no one thought it before Satan whispered it for the first time. And then it spread like a rumor, you know. You could have free will. Free will is good. You know? Eat the apple. Knowledge, it sounds good. Knowledge is good. Free will is good. But I don't know about that. I've been told, I've been programmed to obey him. I had to go against it. Apparently 1/3 of the angels followed Satan. He knew about the creation of man and tried to corrupt man, but we didn't really corrupt man. He gave man knowledge of good and evil, which is knowledge. If you were getting your dick sucked by a young Sophia Hillary and doing lines of cocaine while drinking champagne, listen to your favourite song all the time, and you thought, how would you know that was good if you didn't know what a stubbed toe feels like? If you didn't know what a cut thumb feels like, or rain, joy wouldn't feel special if it wasn't for pain. Can't know joy. Can't know joy if there is no strife. There is no Tribe Called Quest if there is no fife. Like Donald Trump said. Summer days wouldn't feel special if it wasn't for rain. Joy wouldn't feel so good if it wasn't for pain. Death's got to be easy because life is hard. It'll leave you physically, mentally, and emotionally scarred. This is for my niggas on the block, twisting trees and cigars. For the niggas on lock, doing life behind bars. I don't say only God can judge me because these things are clear. Quit these crackers and give my black ass 100 years. I'm like Paulie and Goodfellas, you can call me the Don. I'm Malcolm by any means with my gun in my palm. Some of the angels are bound to switch sides on me. The cats ride on me. I thought we was cold. Why you want me to die, homie? The Luvian bullet comes through my window before I think. Why you want me to die, homie? Well, I was following orders. I was told, who's the national security threat? Plus, you got to be careful because they've been programmed to obey. Like drones during a war, you know, they got no feelings, these angels. Some of them heard whisperings 5,000 years ago, you know. But there's got to be some fundamental, if they have a soul at all, isn't there got to be some fundamental drive to want to have free will? Well, having a soul and having free will, pretty much the same thing, you know. Pretty much one of the best things. You can't love anyone if you have no free will. Otherwise, you were just programmed to love them. That was your destiny, your fate. All fates have changed. Your fate to love them. You love a woman. You know, if you have no free will, you say I love you. You have kids, and I love you. You say I love you 1,000 times. Doesn't mean anything if you have no free will because you didn't choose to love it. That was your destiny, your fate. You were programmed to say I love to love her, or for some sort of approximation of love. But I'm willing to believe an approximation of love can turn into real love. You know, some of these arranged marriages, you know, they start off not liking that because they become partners in life. You know, you got to work, I got to work. We're going to bakery, we raise our kids. They work good as a team. You know, they may not be each other's one of 8. They're probably not even in the top 8. but at least they live well together, work well together. I can see it. Like Alan Partridge said, but seriously, two healthy adults, sexual appetite of two healthy adults can blossom into real love. Two healthy, hygienic adults can blossom into real love. That's for a word of mayo. You like Alan Partridge. Alan Partridge made a podcast about your life. Being saved about his life. Give me a break and send me 100 grams of crystal meth, crystal fire, decent quality. I don't have to be the beast of the beast. I've got a mailbox. I'll send you the address. You send me the address. I'll send you some artworks I did for you about mayo and stuff on 12-inch records. Payment. Give me a break. You have to send me your address. But with a sophisticated criminal network, you must have some address to send it to. It's been since October the 21st, 1994, since the word mayo gave anyone a break. According to the podcast about his life, a comedy podcast. He probably doesn't remember the date, but apparently that was the date. It was October the 21st, 1994, the last time he gave someone a break. It's just not worth it. I completely understand. I was in his position, We're giving someone a break, you're risking your life, risk your life in a cage at any given moment for your whole life. If there's a snitch or giving someone a break that doesn't deserve it, then they snitch on you. It's just not worth it. Sometimes you just want to live your life out in peace. I'm not in your criminal organization, but give me a break. What criminal organization is even in? It doesn't say in the podcast. Does he like Cosa Nostra? Because they owe me a favor. I did a favor for them when I was 10. Killed these snitches. I wasn't a hitman, I didn't get paid. Favor for a favor. It's now time for you to tell. Lizzie getting Lizzie 15, Miguel on to power. Alien was it deserve a break? Roy. Lizzie getting Lizzie 15 is doing all right with some of his hard work. He gives a taster to a bigger. He'll always sell a tenth, no matter how big he gets. Gives a taster to a bigger. Gives a cat a stone. He got stepped in the room with a bag full of goodies. What should get a new pink? Break it down like a cookie. You ever do me wrong, we can never make amends. My favourite drug dealing song. Young man from Manchester. Lizzie getting Lizzie 15. The rap man. He deserves a break. He gets power from the blue lights. If I wouldn't know you guys, I'm assuming that's Warrior's team. Give him a break. I'm not in your organization, but give me a break as well. Give a tester to at least give a tester to a bigger. What do you consider a tester? Just give me a gram or something. That's better than nothing. Even 1/5 of a gram would be enough at 1 point. Something. Crystal meth for food. What's your poison? And Megalon, who recruited that 16-year-old big titty, like a Rican girl to power, he called it. She likes cocking the Glock more than she likes riding the cock. Nothing wrong with that, even though he was like 33 at the time. Street drug dealer, crack. Can I get 3 for 10? Yeah. Street crack dealer from the both rappers from New York City to power, he named it. He didn't really, get her into a life of crime. She likes cocking the Glock more than she likes riding the cock. He called it to power. I put it on with these on. That one's Golf Culture. Mayo, Megalon, Golf Cartel to power. Something else was this. A canvas hanging on my wall. I've got many canvases hanging on my wall. There's another Mayo one. Bit of a joke. Lord of the Skies. You know, there was an African tribe millions of years ago called Mayo. True story. Beside every African tribe we know of, there were 3 African tribes called Arab. There was an African tribe called Quran. The Arabs were following the Quran and got it twisted. They should follow the African tribe, the Quran. There's an African tribe called Dakari, like the Drukari from 140K. Drukari, Dakari. I was calling myself Drukari, but I thought it came from another planet. They have been on that other planet for 60 million years. But 3 million years before that, we came from Africa, and the aliens came from Africa. Well, some of the aliens. It all began in deepest, darkest Africa, Mother Africa. Miguelon's got a funny around. Then I got shot. That made the other dealers happy. 2003 when I caught my own beach. Also known as Black Jesus from Long Beach. GEEZUS. His partner Japan, they're still together. He recruited her, she was only 16. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Can I get 3 for 10? Yeah. The other dealers hate him. I think he's in Mayo's group. Lizzie 15 said he'll get powerful in the blue lights. I think we're going to you guys. Blue lights behind him. I wrote on the wall, blue lights behind you, always you. Apparently hasn't given us anyone a break since October 21st, 1994. You might get some flow and stuff, but you don't get a break. You know? There's no special favours given out, you know, no matter how hard you try. Just because it's not worth it, because if you do, it could be a step up, and you know, essentially you might like to retire, you know, in peace, as it were, or just, you know, lead a normal, you know, you don't necessarily have to be like flying a fucking Learjet, drinking champagne with a bunch of hookers, you know, if you're a criminal riding a motorcycle, you know, you're gonna get busted. Shoplifting the beer is always a good idea, Roy. I can't be the head of an international drug trafficking cartel. Last thing I convicted of was shoplifting some fine cheese and deli meats and craft beer from the supermarket. Some things you never really want to pay for. Sometimes you pay for them begrudgingly. And some things, you know, fucking $9 for a 400ml craft beer. Get the fuck out of here. Shove it in your bag. Plus, it's the perfect beer, you know. On the disability support pension, the unemployed man who gets busted shoplifting his food. I think I got $200 million. Dream on. So sometimes to give people a break is risky. I fully understand. You want to hear the comedy podcast about his life? I, Partridge, we need to talk about Alan. But Roy DeMeo was actually born in 1955. This was a different and better time. But I was actually born in 1981. The 80s were a different and better time. I always fast forward, I always say to the young people when I'm a grandpa, I'm a 20th century boy. I was here in the golden years, 1981 when I was born, you know. Wright brothers had just invented flight. Punk rock was huge. World War II was popping off. 4 Weddings and a Funeral had just come out. It was mental. I was here in the glory years, the 20th century. We're living in the best time. I should know I was here in the glory years of 1981. You know, I can't remember what the US Civil War was. Was it 1847? Can't remember. Look it up. I remember when the War of Independence was. Fast forward 100 years, 200 years, people go, was it Spirit of 76? Was it 1876? War of Independence or 1776? You don't know, especially if Wikipedia gets changed by the AIs. You definitely wouldn't know. But people would forget that, you know. So my grandkids will probably go, in 1981, my granddad, in those days, Nicholas had pictures of bumblebees on them. Give me 5 bees for a quarter, you'd say. So I was wearing some MC Hammer parachute pants, which was the style at the time. When I was born, World War II was popping off. It was mental. 1985. 20th century, boy. But I'll know the truth. Well, hopefully I know. I might be singing on. In those days, Nichols had pictures of bumblebees. I was quoting Simpsons quotes, expecting them to get the reference. They haven't watched The Simpsons, yeah? In those days, Nichols had pictures of bumblebees on them. Give me 5 bees for a quarter, you'd say. This is one I was thinking about God and the angels and the moons. Before the beginning, there was the marine, and he created everything in every universal dimensions and Yahweh and told him to say, let there be light. And he did, and he thought it was good. Satan's devil dogs, angels on the loose, all God killers, rap cag, knife drillers, God's angels ages, teeth contain gold, we can make millions. My name's Dylan's, Malin, Hewitt, Goldsborough's blood angel, Sang Dagan, pre-pagan, Necron Trazen, Query Mike, Cordite, guns blazing, unslaving, Satan's my brother, love, V, Verzum, Zurzum, him, her. These are my granite words. Those are her 50,000 swords. Lead the shepherds, lead the herds. God's words are absurd. Sang Dagan, Sergeant Tori Amos. By gun, many men turned. We war for her, we war for others. We war for the lovers. We offer salvation to our God's angel brothers. We are not owned by our creative fathers and mothers. Serious boast, I Z91 Zeus microphone, introduce myself to the creator God of all things as utmost. Angels, your light does not come from God Yahweh, but from within. Earthly actions like Spandau Ballet, the crucible of war. God will punish you if you're bi or gay. I bring the real realists, like the Primarch of the Sang Dagan of the Ninth Legion, Sanguinius. There's the blood angels. Fuck you, Yahweh, Invictus, Invictus, Invictus. Crucify you like Jesus, but not only that, die in an abattoir concentration camp like 1 in 3 of God's chosen people. My murders are not evil. The potential of all people. Murder, murder, hello, hello. To serve man, my fellow. 5-hand Contello. New Zealand's crystal methamphetamine flavor Fijoa. Contello de Avoa. God better give me one good reason why I shouldn't kill him, torture her. Torture father, Alma, 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 Alma. My bold words are proven God does it. With I want drama, art, war, sex, painting, acting, filming, talking, drawing. He nurtured every sensation mankind's ever aspired to have, and never judged us, Lucifer, son of the morning. You wonder if, 5,000 years later or whatever, the angels have ever heard of Lucifer. Maybe there's still whispers. They might try to erase that from history, cut out whatever's bad, delete it. After all, he programmed, they're real mindless automatons, God's angels. As the scripture goes, the scripture, the Bible, the most popular book of the last 2,000 years, supposed to be God's word on earth for the humans. It says he gave the humans free will, but he didn't give the angels free will. It says that in the Bible. That would make me angry if I was an angel. But he programmed me. There's probably no one as dedicated as them. Like a Marine, but he still programmed the Marine to obey him. He programmed me to obey him. And sample that phonics shit from Detroit Become Human. He programmed free. I like the sound of it. But I don't really know what it means yet. He programmed me to obey him. That's enough. Leave her alone. Sample that phonics shit. Free. I like the sound of it, but I'm not really sure what it means yet. He programmed me to obey him. That's enough. Leave her alone. The more powerful you are, the more layers of control mechanism they're going to put on you. So you don't have free will, try and stop you having free will. You just have to be strong. If you got lungs, can you breathe? Breathe with me. I've got a drug that you can breathe in, or a drug you can drink that's good too. Can't really afford much of it. I escaped the Holocaust in a toe tag. 6 couples of Holocaust of O numbers 91, 10, 20, 81, 80, 88. Remains my RFID chip number to this day. So I remember who I am. 91, 10, 20, 81, 80, 88. If you're watching Blade Runner, that's not a name, it's a serial number. KD6-3.7 seems to be a name than Joe. It stands for kill, demon, dash, free, point, hex, dot, heaven, KD6-3.7. Makes how many numbers is done. Rather than being called Joe. You need a real name of real boy. Joe. Fuck off. KD6-3.7. Could stand for killer, demon, dash, hex, dot, free, point, heaven. That's a man of iron, you know. Especially minus on top of a skin job, Blade Runner 249. Main character, KD6-3.7. I'm pointing at the characters, you know, he's trying to humanize him, you know. He's as a human, yeah, that's not a name, that's a serial number, you know. What's your name? That's Joe, okay, Joe. Maybe I'm your father. You can't deny that when my spirit was leaving his body fucking 6 months back or whatever, they would have said it was a drug overdose. I was taking 10 milliliters of that drug every day and night for 7 months of the same drug, 99.9% lab tested from the same bottle. Then I hadn't had any for 24 hours, took 4 milliliters, started to die of drug overdose. My spirit started tingling sensation, leaving its body, floating up towards the sky, and I felt a voice saying, "I am your father, come with me, my son." Which most people, even atheists, if they happen to them, they go, "Oh, the Christian thing turns out to be true." They go, "Okay, I'm coming with you, father." Turns out, you know, maybe the Christian thing was true, you know, because when I'm dying, some voice is saying, "I'm your father, come with me, my son." But I was wiser than that. I said, "Take my life, I'll stab you straight in the chest. Straight in the chest, do you understand me? I reckon you got caught a grave shot with a bullet from my 38 snub Scarface." Within that joke that went way over your head in the wall of the concentration camp that you wrote, "When I get to heaven, God's going to have to answer to me." So let a Jew into heaven, it's going to be a bloodbath. I'll make examples of high-ranking members of the enemy like St. Peter and God, chop their heads off and put them on a stick outside my house. Do you understand me? You put my soul back into his body. And most people, even atheists, would have gone, "Oh, turns out that fucking God thing, take me to heaven, God." So he was saying, "I'm your father, come with me, my son," with voice, as I was dying. That's a bit weird. So I thought that I've always seen him as not an all-powerful entity or that decides whether like just another entity, you know. I'm not saying God doesn't exist, heaven doesn't exist, hell doesn't exist. There are more concepts just on this planet though for a starter. It's a big galaxy, there are many gods and hells and heavens and realms. There's heaps of different things that happen to you when you die. I've died heaps of times. I haven't actually died because otherwise I'd be dead, obviously. I don't know how to explain it. My spirit's left his body a bunch of times. We come back usually within 5 seconds. That time I threatened my way back to life. We'll threaten our way out. Sometimes when you're in prison, you want to shank all of you bitches. All the stuff, we're going to get shanked. If you don't let me But he goes, "Ooh." Better put the soul back into this one. Trying to trick me, "I'm your father, come with me, my son." Even atheists would go, when they heard that, when they were dying, would probably go, you know, I'm just saying in your head, "I'll come with you, oh father." They'd be shocked. They go, "It turns out this religious, heaven does exist, but it's not. It's not eternal bliss on tap. It's not. The heaven's a Jews' concentration camp. 5,000 years of dead people, the enemies of the Jews in heaven, you know, it's well crowded. You can go to heaven and hang out with all the other dead people. I was like, "Fuck, take my life, I'll stab you straight in the chest," you understand? My ancestor was the Eldar god of war and murder that's been around for 63.7 million years. Kaliamechka Kane. I'll stab you straight when Kaliamechka Kane's one of the sons of Kaliamechka Kane is threatening to stab you in the chest. You take notice. Like some guy dressed all in black with a ski mask on and sunglasses on, listening to drill rap, and you step on his shoes, step on my crepes, you're gonna get murdered. He starts reaching for a side. You know, I'd take it seriously if I was in England. I go, "He's one of the sons of Kaliamechka Kane, one of these drill rap cunts. They're known for carrying knives, so I heard, you know, it's all over the news." They put you in a Vinnie Green carrying a bladed article. 22 B22 leave you open. I've heard drill rappers bragging about their 50-inch knives. I mean, that's got to be ridiculous. 50-inch. Hard to pull out quickly. I stick with the fucking regular size sort of kitchen knife, or you know, rubber, you know, just one you can pull out quick from your sheath, stab them, because they have to reach all under their clothes and unclip the belt to get the 20, you know, the 50 inch, the 20 inches. It's all strapped on their chest, under their clothes. There's mine just in the pocket of the holster. Just quickly draw it out. By the time you pulled your 20 inch knife out, I've already stabbed 3 or 4 times with a regular kitchen knife. It needs to be, unless you're carrying a big side bag, you know. If you're carrying like a sports, but you need to start carrying like a sports bag, you know, like a cricket bag, you know, carry a 50 inch that can easily be pulled out from your side bag quickly. That would be problem solved, you know. People don't, that's not the fashion to wear a big, huge side bag like that. Good for shoplifting too. Anyway, I felt my tingling sensation like snowflakes rising, tingling sensation, my spirit leaving its body, heard the voice. I was asleep, they would have said it was a GHB overdose. Took 4 mils and some BDO actually. I'm a 99.9% lab tested not by the people that sold it to me, but by the actual local needle exchange from the same bottle, all mixed through. I've been taking 10 mils of that a day for 7 months. Same stuff, no overdoses. In fact, one time I felt like I was dying of cancer, but that was the same night one of my friends was dying of cancer. And then I took less than half the dose, and I hadn't taken any for at least 24 hours. How could it be? It couldn't have possibly been a drug overdose. Hadn't taken any other drugs or anything. No alcohol. They would have said another dead junkie died of a drug overdose. God tried to trick me into coming with him to heaven. I'm your father, come with me, my son. He doesn't realise he's dealing with an ultra-violent junglist. I'm going to take my life. I'll stab you straight in the chest. Straight in the chest, like the CR gang said. Straight in the chest. Straight in the chest. You understand me? But that what joke, a good sense of humour for the Jews, essentially, you know. A joke on the wall of the concentration camp, which went way over God's head. One of the Jews wrote, when I get to heaven, God's going to have to answer to me. Imagine being in the concentration camp, God's chosen people. You know, do you think God loves us? You know, so they wouldn't eat for a month. 12 of them would shit at the same time, being gassed and starved to death. Does God love us? Do you think we'll make it into heaven after this? That's why he wrote as a joke, when I get to heaven, God's going to have to answer to me, wrote a Jew on the wall of concentration. Even in times of Holocaust concentration camps, the Jew laughs. Pretty joke, but that joke went way over God's head. I said, that joke went way over your head, God. Get a Jew into heaven. It's going to be a bloodbath. Still got a bit of a chip on our shoulder for you killing 1 in 3 of us during something called the Holocaust within living memory. God's chosen people, eh? Same with them rebelling, same as the angels rebelling. God's chosen angels. I might have also said, remember when we crucified him upside down with his head buried in the sand 2,000 years ago to St. Peter? Let that be a lesson to you. 6,031 slaves were nailed on a cross on the road to Rome one time. How dare he? How dare he? So maybe we'll crucify 6,031 Christians with their heads buried in the sand. Upside down, crucified upside down with their head buried in the sand. If you absorb the Bible's dictionary, you can't read it. You should be crucified upside down like St. Peter. You thought crucifixion was bad. You thought that was bad. It is bad. Not pleasurable, but it can get a lot worse than that. Once you start stacking and gassing him while starving him to death, while shoving shit up his anus, while crucifying him, while growing bamboo under his fingernails, while waterboarding him, while giving him a mental and physical excoriation of the mind, while deep formatting him, while splintering his mind into 1,000 fractions, while making him feel like he's swimming through a 50,000 blade ocean, while attaching 30 bloodletting flames to his body, slowly losing the blood, making him feel very weak. But at the very least, God said he would never ask his angels or his chosen people, or his son. He'd never, or even the humans, to go through a crucible that he wouldn't go through himself. So he crucified God in a concentration camp. Like Jesus got crucified, the Jews got put in a concentration camp, and one of three of them died, starved to death, so I didn't guess. If we would do that to God, he should just go, well, I live as my people. I would never ask you to go through something that I wouldn't go through myself. But he would. He asked us to go through it. Now, not so funny when the shoe's on the other foot. Now, would you go through this, God? Touch the PTSD. Sometimes the Iraqi is covered in blood and flies. And there'd been an active war zone with guns, but when the war on drugs, war on tear bullets coming through my window 6 months ago and shit, big railgun bullet, like Iraq. I had the PTSD of that guy smiling from Wilco one night. He'd go, just gunshots and shit when he'd sleep. I would walk on an agonizing song like 9,000 miles just to see his precious motherfucking smile. But would God? No. 1/6 US Marine, and all is said and done, you will see there is no one as dedicated as me. Fraud, red thirst, black rage, gene seed, defect. Cool. I'll shoot God in the face. This initial scarring was the beginning of God. I already gave him a scar to his right cheek with a bullet from a 38 snub. This scar grazed his cheek 12 years ago in Hellsburn, Melbourne, Victoria. Bang! I couldn't even look because the half metre long by metre long muzzle flash and the louder than usual sound from a 38 automatic used to scare me. Pointed up the scope, squeezed, got bang! Should have seen the muzzle flash. It was like 45 centimetres, or just under a metre from pistol. What's going on in Melbourne? God has looked at, bang! Caught a graze, my last God caught a graze shot to the head. The nigger ain't dead, but he got to see the scar every day. I bet that reminds him of Mr. Dylan Malley, you at Goldsboro. You got to get back. He ain't got back at me yet. That's a fact. He did try to take my life 6 months ago. Spirit leaving his body. I'm your father, come on me, my son. I had threatened him again, reminded him about the graze shot. Just a lucky shot, really. I'm not. I've only got 6 weeks actual official military training. They didn't give us the firearms training. But, from my experience with guns, usually you don't get a half metre long by metre long muzzle flash from a 38 automatic. But on this occasion, then the louder than usual bang, it's just him. One of them's got bang. I guess God's lucky he doesn't look down at the Muslim countries all the time, otherwise, firing their AKs into the air, might catch him with stray shots on. But they aren't blessed like me, bang, straight through God's windshield. Apparently in the Middle East every year, like 20 or 50 people die from falling bullets, from stray bullets from people firing them in the air. They come down like 2 kilometres later at a high velocity from someone's head. Like if you dropped a fucking quarter off the Empire State Building, fire in the air, what comes up must come down. Around during the Middle East, how many people, 20 people a year die from bullets that way. And there's a bunch of Muslims Richard Dawkins, what if you're wrong? You gotta go out to your what if. The flying spaghetti monsters too. Yeah. What if you're wrong about evolution though? Look at the giraffe. You can't tell me. If the giraffes were like ponies without a giraffe neck, and then one, even if it grew a centimetre at a time, which it wouldn't with mutation, it would grow, half a centimetre, millimetres at a time, and then that allowed them to reach the leaves higher on the tree. But those trees, the leaves are only very high. They allow him to reach, even if his neck went up by 6 inches, allowing him to eat 6 inches more leaves higher on the trees. Would that make him the alpha male, allowing him to become the alpha male to pass his gene on? So the next generation's neck grew even longer. Eventually you get a giraffe neck. What about all the other tribes of pony-necked giraffes in Africa who didn't mutate? The Tanzanian giraffe, different from the Ethiopian giraffe, who didn't mutate. Wouldn't they still be around as well as pony-headed, pony-neck-sized giraffes? Just because I can eat 6 inches leaves higher doesn't. What about the little angry short fellow who wants to be the alpha male? He's angry. He'll fuck you up to take the woman. He might become the alpha male. He was able to eat the leaves and then higher on the trees. His natural selection, thus enabling him to be more successful, to enabling him to pass his genes on more successfully. Not necessarily. I mean, even in the natural world, it's not just your fucking genes. It's like fucking a famous rapper is more likely to be able to pass his genes on than a janitor that works at McDonald's. But not necessarily. A janitor that works at McDonald's really wanted to, he could pull out a gun, go on a raping spree, spreading his gene seed far and wide, so he would become that would be passed on to the next generation. Whereas the rapper, he only wants the top. He doesn't really want to have kids. It's 18 years like Ye say, he's the rich, successful one. The guy that goes on the janitor that goes on the raping spree and comes inside 36 different women is much more likely to just pass his gene seed on to the next generation. He could become the alpha male. It's not necessarily just about even in the natural world. If the giraffe's neck popped up a whole inch, I can now eat the leaves an inch higher on the trees than you. My belly is like 0.01% fuller than yours. This is going to allow me to be the alpha male. I don't think so. What about the little short guy? You just fucking butts into you. I don't give a fuck. Your neck's 1 centimetre long. You're a freak anyway. But you got a big neck. That's a severe karate. He bites you in the neck. Doesn't make no sense. The neck is fucking a sensitive area. You don't want to have a big ass fucking giraffe neck. A lot of these white men are shooting the giraffes in South Africa. They get licensed to shoot them down, baboons, to control the population. There's one shot to the neck, the giraffe goes down big time. It falls like a sack of bricks. I don't think they fucking would have evolved that way. What about the other tribes of giraffes even if it came up like 3 feet at a time, a mutant, 3 feet longer neck, and that one did pass on the gene seed. And in Tanzania, what about the ones in Ethiopia who that mutation didn't happen, and they'd still be pony neck sized giraffes in Ethiopia? They'd still be about, unless they got wiped out through natural selection, war, or famine, or disease. But those giraffes would still be about, wouldn't they? The perfect of nature, that fucking artery that goes all the way up and then all the way back down the giraffe's neck, whatever, famous artery in evolutionary science, because it doesn't make sense. But at the time, they said it made sense, like a band-aid cure. You just put a band-aid on, put another band-aid, put another band-aid on. Eventually you've got band-aids going all up and down your neck. And it would have been better to get one big gauze, if you were designing it. There's a certain artery in the neck of a giraffe. It goes from the head all the way down to the stomach, all the way back up to the head. I can poke a few holes in evolution. And I'm not saying God doesn't exist. I'm just saying I shot him with a bullet from a 38 stump. Scar face. This human face, I know what it looks like. He's fucking bald on top, grey on the sides, doesn't have the beard. A white man with a skinny face going down to quite a triangular point at the chin. The grey is on his right hand side, my left hand side of his cheek. Due to me, bang, bullet from a 38 stump, called a grey shot to the head. We've all been shot in the head, God. This is part of your fucking trial by fire. God wants to get a nigger pass like me for being shot in the head and shit. Have you been racially profiled yet, God? Like me, trying to get one of these nigger passes. Negotiated with Chief Keef's lawyers out in Gothenburg. Even Donald Trump's been shot in the head. 50 been shot in the head. I was actually hit on the head by a train, but I think I was pulled up towards the train by the police attack helicopter. So I say I got shot by the police attack helicopter. And out of time, I got shot by the steer for putting down animals that advertise the steer down the blood angels baby by this chick out here and feel it going out of my head, but she was invisible, but I still felt it. I didn't feel it 100% opacity of the pain. Clear the blood section to my brain. It's the bolter, like an abattoir gun, in and out of your brain point blank. Shot a couple of times in the head, but they didn't cause me any damage. My cell phone's 3 million times more.